We have 18 science left. But with this, we'll have some extra devices to keep us safe, and to keep our Kerbals supplied with food and water in the course of their space flights. And this thing to keep them, like, floating. And airbags. We'll have these better engines with bigger fuel tanks, and the Thumper will be back. There we go. Okay, so to that. Warp to completion. I'm going to scrap you. And then we warp to completion of the parachute test. The alarm clock is going off because some of the other stuff is going on, giving us a warning that stuff is coming up soon. There we go. Now we're going to grab the parachute test, roll it out. Should just take a couple minutes. And we're there yet, we're there yet, we're there yet, we're there yet, and we're there. Launch. Fill all, fill, launch. SAS is on! Up we go. Jebediah is happy. Send that up. Dump that small rocket. And then we wait. And we wait, which we won't have to wait too long for. We're at the required speed. Test has been run. Ta-da! We speed things up again. Now the parachute did not deploy quite that early in the test. So I'm kind of surprised it did. But it doesn't make that much of a difference. It's still deployed. Jeb will still be safe. Okay, I lost sight of the parachute there and I'm sitting there going, I did say Jeb was going to be safe, right? It'd be bad if he died. Do this fairly quickly, there's no reason to. There's things exploding. I don't like the sound of things exploding. But now we can see the parts recovery that the parts did not recover. Ooh. So yeah, the simulation is different than the main event. That's kind of surprising and slightly disturbing at the same time. But we still land right in front of the VAB. What do we have? Slightly off center too. Close enough. Job done. Should be a very quick recovery. And then we see what other science we can do. So no science out of that. Contract was done, so now we go over to here and we see what other contracts we have. In flight. I could do this one with the rocket we just used. Because it's got to be 6,000 to 1,400. That'll give us 3 science. Let's see. And these are all fairies. We don't have the stuff I want to do that yet. We'll do the flea one. Because it used to be an escape trajectory. But now it's in flight for whatever reason. Whatever. We'll take what we just built. We got that many parachutes in just stock. And some of those things are in stock. So yeah, 1 day, 31 minutes. Launch. Build it. There's no reason to simulate it. Exit. We already know it works. Okay. The parachute test now becomes the engine test. Do we have any upgrades? We do have 2. Close. That cut an hour off. Warp 2 completion of that. And warp 2 completion of that. You will be scrapped for parts. I did accept it. Yes, we did. And then we warp to the parachute test being finished. Seeing as most of our launches appear to be taking place at night. Okay. Okay. And we roll her out. Warp to the completion of that. This thing will eventually be built for me to immediately scrap it again. Okay. Launch. Fill all, launch. And we know this will fit the requirements for this test. If barely. Have fun, Jeb. First stage should get us to 6,000 meters. We should have the required speed. There we go. And that's another contract done for 22,000. Speed everything up. Coming back down again. I may not. What I'm going to do is manually set that thing. Come on, flip back over. Whee! Deploy the chute. We can recover the engine too while we're at it. Might as well. Because it's a safe thing that we can do and we'll land in the water anyway. Parachute has deployed, has not ripped off. Parachute deploys really close to the surface. And recover the active vessel. There we go. 24 science in the inventory. Parts that were recovered. There we go. We need to break some speed records too. So we can test this as well. That'll get me some money. We'll do this. I'm not quite sure why I went to this thing. Back up. Little burp. I probably could have said nothing and no one would have ever noticed. Okay, we go back in here and we just swap the parachute here out for these parachutes here. Where'd they go? And actually, just in case they burn up, be the slowest landing ever. Build the vessel. So the vessel is going to be under construction. Let's see. Resort the order again. Accelerate that. When that thing gets recovered, we scrap it. You will be scrapped. Recondition the launch pad. Launch pad reconditioned momentarily. And then warp to the completion of that. Time warp slows down. And that is now completed. Roll it out. Warp again. Go to VAB. And launch. And fill all. Launch. Here we go. SAS on. Add a new little thing there. Launch. Okay. Now what happens is, if we get to the altitude with enough speed, I'm just going to swap these positions around, and we're never going to trigger the engine. And we have hit the altitude that we need. We went over the altitude that we need. We'll hit it back again on the way down. That's a rather narrow band. Only 1,000 meters to trigger that in. But, oh well, we'll get it on the way down. And there we go. Parachutes tested, just barely. Sometimes this game really makes me hit the buttons twice, which is kind of annoying. That's done. That's done. Now that thing will usually probably just disappear because it's so close to the VAB, the Space Center. That takes a little while to come down, doesn't it? I'm certainly going to land before that thing does. I'm really going to land before that thing does. Quick, Jeb, land! You have a job! Whether you choose to accept it. Will it blow up? Nope. I was going to try to have Jeb go into EVA real quick and run over there and catch it. It probably would kill Jeb if I tried to do that. So... okay, that does make that reusable then. Woot. Oh, now we can recover this. That also leaves something sitting on the launch pad that needs to be recovered too. That does make that stage reusable. If a bit funky in the way it works. No contracts I want to do. Okay, goody. So I'm going. We don't have to do it from here. We can back out. We have this thing sitting rather inconvenently right there. We're going to fly that for the moment. And then we'll have the constructor recover the active vessel, which this should be active once our focus is on it. It landed perfectly right there. Recover the active vessel. A lot of stuff with solid fuel boosters. Not much with other things. Now we're going to have to warp to the vessel. Cancel that. I can't warp any other way. Yes, I can. Close. Tech. Mission control and launch pad are almost updated. I could almost grab that, but 30 parts is actually plenty for now. Can I upgrade this? If I upgrade that, we can EVA in space. That'll be extra science. We get that, we can get surface samples and transfer resources. So we're going to warp to mission control being upgraded. We got a ways to go for these other things here. Close the alarm. VAB. Basic rocket not done yet. So we scrap that. Yes. Back to the VAB. We scrap that. Yes. We can do EVAs in space now. So survivability. Warp to that. Not sure why we had to warp to this still. It should have been done by now. I haven't launched any other missions, so why? We'll warp to that thing being finished. Because it now does have a purpose. It now very much serves a purpose. We're going to go to edit it. And we're going to fix the staging, because I believe it's staged in reverse. At least the other thing was. No, this is not staged in reverse. Okay. Now, there's no reason to keep these things on. Mystery goo containers can come off. And the rest of it is good. Unless I took a part off. If I throw an extra fuel tank on, let's say we do that. We throw an extra fuel tank on. We get some extra delta V. But not that much extra delta V. Can we get this to orbit? How many parts do we have available? Not quite as many as I would probably like. If I take that off, let's say we throw these fleas on. What we can do I'm going to just strap them onto there for the moment. Nope. Okay, so we're going to throw stacked decoupler on there just for a second. I'm going to grab this. We're going to put that there. We're going to change the thrust limiter so that it's at 15, so it takes 15.7 seconds to burn. Right there. And we're going to grab it again, do this, and we're going to put it there with that thing. That gets me, in the final stage, an extra 13 meters per second of delta V. 13. That is it. That is all. So we're not going to do that. That gets me a lot of extra. And what we can do is we throw 2 of these onto there. That gets me... Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. There we go. 2 of these will get me a little bit. Oh, I see what's happening. It's putting those in the same stage as that. They're not supposed to be. Put that there. Put those there. If I use 2 fleas, or 3 fleas actually, that does that. Change this so it's another 15-second burn. There we go. Make it double. It actually makes less. Oh, that's why. Let's do it. Let's see. I could simulate this, but I'm not going to. What happens if I just add another fuel tank up there? Thank you. Okay, it took you long enough to let me click on that. I clicked on it like 5 times. We've got 3,336. 3,502. If we come here, instead of having that 3, we have it as 4. And that will be the maximum capability of this rocket. Period. Will that be enough to get into orbit? Let's find out. We know we can land it. Okay. That won't take too long to build with those modifications, so speed that up. This'll work. Or it won't. Roll out. Takes 2 hours to roll the sucker out. Whoops. I wanted to get rid of that notice. And are we rolled out yet? Yes. Launch. Fill all. Jeb is the pilot. SAS on. Spacebar pressed. Up we go. Got those things firing. Burning away. Still accelerating. Kind of gravity turn. Gotta be careful not to flip it, because this thing likes to flip. Right on the verge of flipping right here. Go to the map. Not quite to space yet. We are now. There. Gets us to 94,000. Do we have communications? Yes, we do. Okay. The annoying thing is we can't start the gravity turn earlier because we got very limited control over this thing to begin with. So we use a lot of energy getting vertical. And not much getting horizontal. We hit 90, we've hit 90. We must be very careful is to not get stranded. I don't really think we're going to do it. This will be the closest we've come using only Tier 2 tech. Which of course means someone's probably going to go up under the forums and say, I beat you, haha. Yeah, we didn't make it. Oh well. So, Jeb, you know what to do now. Oh. I didn't wait for it to upgrade first. Whoops. Get whatever science we can. We'll land somewhere. If it doesn't burn up. Due to the extra speed involved, it might just blow up. Okay, we've hit the atmosphere. Re-entry. Let's see if I lose the Science Bay material stuff. Do I get anything at this point? Let's observe. Yes, we do. We're going to get whatever science we can out of this flight. Stage destroyed, stage destroyed. Not too surprising. We're going to hit this cooking. And hopefully we actually end up landing in the water. Whoa! No, 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 no. That's bad. Oh, that's bad. Don't burn, don't burn, don't burn, don't burn. Wiggle waggle, wiggle waggle. Increase drag. Whew. Yep, that wasn't good. Oops. Come on. Jeb, this is your job to keep it in retrograde. You failed. Badly. Deploy the parachute. And down we come. Don't know why all of a sudden it's stuttery. Could be a problem with the broadcasting software I'm using. So, there we go. And it's been 2 hours, so I'm going to end the broadcast now. Once the landing is finished. We have managed to get some science out of all this, so that wasn't a completely lost flight. And we're going to recover the active vessel. And crash. Brilliant! I've crashed. So that really does bring an end to today's episode. Don't forget to if you're watching this on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe, and join us again in the future. I plan on making Kerbal Space Program a fairly regular live broadcast because it worked out fairly well. See you later. It's crashed. Dang. Memory error.